try to dry the sails in the sun. I'm going to start with the mainsail. It's smaller, and if this experiment works, I'll move on to the headsail. Seems to be drying just fine. I just flipped it over. Seems like it's mostly dry. I'll give it another half an hour, then I'll see if I can fold it in the breeze. And here's the large Genoa laid out to dry, larger than the mainsail by quite a bit. When I was folding the mainsail, I noticed there were some pinholes up near the top. I think I'm going to get them inspected with an eye towards getting those spots fixed. I don't think this sail needs anything besides the sail cover reattached in all places, but I think I'll have it inspected too.
I spent time getting the rigging ready. We also put in the engine oil. We disconnected the power lines from the mast because they had to be disconnected for them pulling the mast, and we taped the wires down the side of the mast. This guy here gets honorable mention for reusing his shrink wrap from previous years. It's a horribly poor ecological choice to shrink wrap, but he's actually getting his mileage out of the plastic, so good for him. I also did some tidying, and then at the end of the day spent some time appreciating the beauty of the earth. So yesterday we disconnected the boom, put it down on the deck. We took all the lines that come off the mast, like the halyards and whatnot. We tied everything along the mast so that it's all together in a package, that when the guys pull the mast, they don't have to worry about that. We also took the cotter pins out of all the turnbuckles holding on the stays all around, except for the forestay because it's inside the furler, and they take care of that part. We also disconnected the water heater. We tried to find a drain for the water heater so that we didn't have to put antifreeze inside it. And the more we looked at it, the more we realized that that heater is really on its last legs. And so I started the work of bypassing it. I'm going to finish that this morning, of bypassing the water heater, which means the lines from the engine cooling system, the freshwater cooling system that run through, have to be removed from the water heater and joined together so that the coolant can still run through the system. It just bypasses the water heater. And the same with the water feeds, the in and out on the water. I'm going to connect them together so that hot water will run. It won't be hot because it won't be going through the heater, of course, but it'll still operate, and I can still put in the antifreeze and flush the system out and make it ready for winter. The electrical wiring to the water heater it's scary, so it's been disconnected. I still need to tape that off. But anyway, so that's project for today, is finish the winterizing, and also the last few things I need to do for the getting the mast unstepped. One of the things I have to provide to them is stands to put the mast on. So I got some stands today at the local box store, and I'm going to tape some carpet to the top of it so it doesn't scratch the mast, etc., and get those set up and ready to go. And then I can tell the yard that the boat is ready to haul. So that's my goal for today, is be able to go to the yard and tell them the boat is ready to haul. All the other projects, it doesn't matter whether the boat's in the water or not. And I forgot to mention yesterday, there are two wires that go up the mast. One is from the back of the VHF radio, the antenna wire, and the other is the non-functional wind gauge. So the wind gauge wire had a connection in it right behind where I'm sitting, and the radio, we disconnected from the radio. I couldn't pull the wire through with the end on it, so I had to clip the end off because it's continuous all the way up the mast. So we pulled it through this little piece of conduit back there that goes down to the bilge. So we pulled the wire through, and we pulled some little pieces of rope through, so we can pull them back again in the spring when we put the mast in. And right now the wires are just sitting down at the bottom of the mast, so they'll just go up through the hole when they pull the mast.
There's the pink I wanted coming out of the hot water system. Yay, finally. Okay, part of the tasks that I had to finish to get the boat ready for hauling was to provide to the marina stands to put the mast on. So it's not very pretty. It's a prefabricated roller stand over which I put a piece of carpeting. So I have 4 of these. I have to put the carpet on them, and I'm going to leave them on the cockpit of the boat so that when they get around to hauling the boat, they'll have these stands handy. I don't know when they're going to haul the boat, but at least I'll have all of my tasks ready for them, so I won't be holding them up anyway. This is what they look like before I put the carpet on the top. It's got a material roller on there. So after I use it for supporting the mast, plenty of uses for these things. And on today's episode, the gourmet meal being presented is a turkey sandwich. Just turkey, a little bit of mayo, that's all. In this beautiful serving dish that came in this catering basket here. This box we'll be talking about during some slow weeks over the winter. I'm not going to show you what's inside yet. That's yet to come. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. Please leave comments and questions. Love to answer questions and hear from people, what they think, what they want to see, etc. Things you want to know. I hope you can join us next week. I know that the content is a little bit less exciting this time of year with the boat being up for storage, but there's always little things to do and talk about. Thank you, and I hope to see you next week.